We live only once, but if we do it right, once is enough. Once is all that we need. I was born in a very small town of Malerkotla. Now, many of you wouldn't have heard of it, but I'm going to walk you through my life journey, which depicts different phases of the moon. Now, Malerkotla is a very, very small town in Punjab with a population of around 4 to 5 lakhs. Nothing like Ludhiana or Chandigarh that you would have heard of. And born in 1990 in that town, I wouldn't have imagined being here with the stellar introduction that I got today. Once I was there, the new moon of my life started as a teenager when I went to the city of dreams, Mumbai. Now, having lived in Malerkotla till the age of 12, and suddenly, because dad got transferred to Mumbai, wanting to go to a city which was full of this big roads and lavish malls, I was super excited as that teenager. And I enjoyed my life in Mumbai as a teenager for a few months, till the first day of my school when my confidence was shattered. Now, suddenly, I was surrounded by these sophisticated teenagers who could speak such fluent English, and I was this person who went from being a class topper to suddenly an average kid who couldn't speak a proper English. Well, that shattered my confidence. But I had supportive parents, a great tutor that they hired for me, and in 6, difficult, sometimes humiliating months, I think I was back to being the great, confident teenager that I was. And after that, I went through the grind that pretty much most of the high school students in India go through, and that was the grind of studying for something called IIT JEE. Now that was tough, 2 grilling years, but finally, with the help of great teachers, great family, I made it to the mecca of education, IIT. Now that's where the crescent phase of my life started. Now, IIT is a place, I'm sure you all have heard of it. It's a place where I became who I am today. It gave me the personality that I have today. I discovered myself, fell in love with theater, with stage, realized what my own strengths were, what my weaknesses were, and what I wanted to do in life. It made me a confident, ambitious woman, who wanted to conquer the world. And as you would know, many IITians, and in fact, majority of IITians, end up into business roles, unfortunately. I was recruited for Bain & Company, which is one of the most sought-after consulting firms in the country. It's headquartered in US. I was super excited, right? Got the day 1 job. I was there working in their Delhi office. And it laid the foundation of my business acumen. It gave me exposure to industries such as real estate, airlines, hospitals, education, and many FMCG, and many others, right? But every day when I came back home, I wasn't happy. I realized that just getting good money is not enough for me. I craved for impact. An impact of a satisfaction, of saying that, hey, today my work has contributed to something in somebody's life. And that was missing. And I decided that if I have to work where I can see clear impact in people's life, it'll only be education or it is going to be healthcare. Well, I was clear that it has to be one of the two. And then I said, hey, I've been working in business, might as well get an MBA. And like a lot of aspiring consultants, I went to Wharton, the University of Pennsylvania in US. Now, for those of you who may not know, Wharton is one of the top 3 business schools in the world. It's counted as one of the Ivy League schools in US. And that is where I unlocked my true potential. Every week, I was learning from CEOs and CXOs of the country. I was studying with the best in the world. I was working on my own startup. And that taught me that nothing is impossible. When Sundar Pichai and Elon Musk can graduate from Wharton and be who they are today, that inspired me that so can I be in that life, right? If they can be there, so can I be there where they are. And that gave me clarity on where I wanted to be in life. I wanted to do something big, create something big, create that impact. And I also experimented with healthcare and education, and I realized that going to the best institute in India and going to one of the best colleges in the world positioned me very, very uniquely to understand the education gaps in the country, in my home country, and come back to my home country and work on that and contribute to that. And that's when I came back to India. I worked with some of the Edtech startups in the country. I ran my own startup in the career guidance space. And I tried to understand where the gap is in India's education space. Now, we all have heard of this, right? We all have heard that many, many graduates are unemployable in the country. But at the same time, we hear thousands of companies struggling to hire the right talent. Why is that the case? While the quality of schools in our country has gone up over the last decade or two, the quality of higher education continues to be suboptimal. And having studied at Wharton, I knew what these great institutes are doing that we in India have been able to manage to do only by a couple of institutes in the country, right? And that was my aha moment. In the business lingo, I could say that I had found my product market fit. I knew where the gap was, I knew what the problem was, and I knew what the solution was. And now it was all about execution. So I joined Masters Union to launch its undergrad program. Now, many of you may not know about Masters Union, but what we are doing there and what we are designing there is an undergrad program that is born with industry linked into it, where 200 plus CXOs have come together to design a curriculum that caters to the industry needs, ranging from product management to digital marketing to entrepreneurship to many others. And why I call it the full moon? Because I feel that in full moon phase, you thrive. And you can recognize that if you don't crave for weekends. If you get up in the morning and you're super energized because you're going to do something that you're super excited about. If you come back in the evening and are not tired when you go back home, that is, for me, the definition of thriving. And that, for me, is my full moon. Now I know that full moons don't last. There are times when full moons move to the waning phases, and life, unfortunately, has something called lifespan, right? And I'm hoping that by the time I move to a waning phase, I would have contributed to enough moons who would have then gone on into their phases of life. Thank you.